my grandparents had their 50th wedding anniversary. Somebody mentioned, hey, there's going to be a cash bar. And I was like, oh, cool. And we got there and someone was like, hey, Grandma and Grandpa don't want anyone using the bar. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So the night goes on and I'm super bored and I stopped the waitress. I was like, hey, question for you. She gave me the don't hit on me look so fast, which I'm clearly not over. But I was like, no. Can you get me a scotch and soda? And she was like, yeah. But I was like, but can you bring it to me in an opaque vessel? And the waitress brought me a scotch and soda in a coffee mug that I just sipped for the rest of the night. And it was one of the best cocktails I've ever had.
Welcome to the podcast. It's your boy hosting Lou, joining us with Rob.
What up?
And my boy Mike.
Hey.
Daddy Mike. Daddy Mike. All right. We would like to have a fun question each week. My fun question this week is, what's something that gives you the ick? Something that just is icky to you. My answer is whole cherry tomatoes in a salad. I can't do it. I love diced cherry tomatoes, but if I see a whole cherry tomato in a salad, I can't eat it.
Think back to that scene in Lord of the Rings with Denethor eating the tomatoes and just running down his face.
I've only seen the first Lord of the Rings.
I was gonna say, I don't think they made it that far. No, that's in the third
I didn't make it that far. Okay. I'm still working on those.
Hey,
they're on HBO, so.
Next time we have, next September, when we do our Lord of the Rings marathon again, I'll get you over here.
Another one, if you guys need more, touching an old wet sponge that has like.
Ooh, you're getting close to mine.
Can't do it. It's nasty.
What's yours, Mike?
It's touching wet bread.
Ah. That guy has the same thing.
Oh, dude, it's so nasty. Every now and then, Joe will just should I get a sandwich? And then she won't eat it, and she'll just toss it in the sink, and then somebody else will turn on the sink without looking, and it'll just end up sitting there all day, and I get home from work, and I'm just like, I gotta dump this out, and I'll brush the bread, and it's like, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Mine's probably just like old moldy food that's been in the back of your fridge for a long time and it's like growing stuff on it, and just the smell when it hits you. No, thank you.
I kind of like that smell, that penicillin-y smell.
That's weird. Or
it's like kind of like the gas smell. You guys don't like the smell of gas?
Well, are you talking about refined oil?
Yes, Robert.
Well, let me tell you, refined oil, I like the smell of that. Oil straight from the ground smells awful.
What does it smell like?
I would say almost like a natural gas smell, but then you wouldn't quite know exactly what that is.
Like my farts?
Well, worse than that, because you can't escape it, You can't just move and escape.
That's fair.
Or this happened this past weekend. My dog had the runs, and so everything was like liquidy. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to wake up to at 4:30 in the morning.
How'd you wake up to, do you naturally wake up at 4:30 in the morning, or did you hear your dog?
So it sounded like she was like licking stuff, and I'm like, why is she being so loud?
Oh.
I woke up and she had some like irregularities before that, and I'm like, I turn on the light and there's just like these little clumps of it. So we had to get we got spoons out because it's on the carpet, and we're like, we don't want to push it down the carpet, so we got to get spoons out. But just like I double bag, because I have a 100-pound dog, so it's a big dog. I double bag to get the poops anyways. But yeah, even just like feeling the liquidy, no, thank you. Just trying to pick it up, and then you can't get it all the way, so you kind of just like smear it, trying to pick it up all over the ground, and yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude! So you spooned her poop
into the trash can, yeah.
Bro,
when it was on the carpet.
Rug out.
It's a carpet. We can't just afford to do a whole master bedroom. Oh, sorry, what's the term nowadays?
Yeah, you can't use master bedroom.
What the hell, Robert? Anyways, can't just throw out the whole executive suite,
I thought
Umi hasn't had the runs before, though.
No, Umi is on a strict diet. She does not, no, she's never had the runs. She does, ever since I've gotten her fixed, she does pee in her sleep, and so we had to put diapers on her.
Yeah, my dogs don't do that. But it was because we bought like this new treat to like train her with, like the small tiny treats, and they just don't agree with her stomach. I was surprised that such a small bite size, like not even bite size, but like a small, like a chocolate chip sized treat would, do so much damage to her. But that's the only new thing we gave her, so we threw those out, and she's been fine since.
Yeah, I have an Old English Bulldog. She can eat borax and be perfectly fine. She has an iron stomach, and I appreciate that quite a bit. Comment below what gives you the ick. Let me hear all your ickies. I can't believe I just said, let me hear all your ickies. All right, the topic of the day is 5 products that you would like to sponsor without getting the ick? I got this idea. I was thinking about something like this because people spend good money on bad products, and I've definitely been there. I've been on my Amazon runs where I just go hard on Amazon, and then I buy these crappy products and they break or they don't work, and then I forget to return them, and they just sit in my closet. And so yeah. And then after last episode, if you recall, we're talking about Ron from Parks and Rec, and he was promoting I think snake juice or snake blood.
Snake
Alcohol.
juice.
Yeah, and he put his stamp of approval on it. And so I was like, all right, this is a good topic. I like this topic a lot. That's where that stemmed from. So my first product that I promote is a Scrub Daddy.
What?
You have Scrub Daddy?
Sorry,
on yours?
we literally just got one of those today.
Becca just bought one last time
Oh,
at
that's
Walmart,
fun.
but she brought a Scrub Mommy, so, you know, a little different.
That's sexist as hell.
No, Daddy's sexy. No. Down with the patriarchy? Yeah.
Down with the patriarchy. All right,
Said
so
3 minute
I'm not a
podcast.
huge Shark Tank fan.
Hey, I had nothing to do with that.
So Scrub Daddy. So I'm not a big Shark Tank fan, but I do like to dabble in it. I don't know if you guys are in the tank often. You guys in the tank?
Becca and I had a stint where we watched like the first 3 seasons of Shark Tank. Then we kind of put down and haven't gone back.
I watch Shark Tank religiously whenever I'm in a doctor's office waiting room. And that's about it.
You don't have an option though. Do you get to choose what
On
you
his
watch?
phone. I mean, he has this mobile
Nope.
device now.
No. I mean, yeah, I could just be watching YouTube, but I usually do end up just watching whatever's on the TV.
So
Just happens to always be
And
Shark
it's
Tank, I
also-
guess.
No.
it just happens to be Shark Tank all the time.
Okay, the joke doesn't work too well if you look into it too hard, guys.
Where are the lies, Michael?
Where does it
Where
stop?
are the lies? Where does it stop? So, 2012, the founder Aaron, I don't know his last name, Kuzma. I'm gonna mess up a lot of names today, just FYI. No disrespect. He pitched an idea of a sponge that had a texture change based on the water temperature, the water temperature. And cold water turned it rough, and hot water turned it soft. And I just love it. I think it's great. I use it on my cast irons. My favorite thing about it is that I can beat it up, I can leave it in the sink, and it doesn't get that nasty vibe that most sponges have, and that's my biggest thing. And it's dishwasher. You can throw it in the dishwasher. So,
Ooh.
great move right there. That's my number 5.
I gotta say, I really applaud the way you tied your opening question into your first products. That does my heart good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you see genius, because most genius isn't appreciated in its generation. Here I am.
Well, and Sandy's the same side of the coin, so it's just,
Yeah.
there's a lot more one nowadays than the other. Let's just say that.
That's fair. Shout out to, say, Elton John, but that's not right. SpaceX guy. What's his name?
Elon Musk,
Elon Musk.
where you just
Not
said
Elton John.
F Disney.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. I don't promote Elton John. I mean Elon Musk. Oof. They're the same person, right? Spaceman, right? That's the same.
I mean, yeah.
Rocket
Never thought of
Man.
that. Rocket Man.
Isn't Scrub Daddy one of the Shark Tank things where they said no and then like went on to be super successful? Kind of like the what's it called? The Ring doorbell?
To my understanding, no. The chick from QVC put in like $200,000.
Okay.
on
That's
it.
it's a small
Yeah,
investment
yeah.
for them, you know.
It is a small investment of $1 million.
So with my picks, I kind of went above and beyond. I'm the person that like does the uploading and all that. So I went and I ran the numbers and I extrapolated out our current viewer count to about 15,000 people, because I figured, you know, that's about where you'd be getting sponsorship. And I found out the 3 biggest countries that we are in is the United States, of course, Belgium, and then Canada. So I kind of went from there. If you want to know the top 3 cities in the United States, it is Williston, North Dakota, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Wayne, Michigan. Then we got Brussels, Belgium, and Edinburgh, Belgium. And in Canada, we have Purdue, Calgary, and Waterdown. And I won't get into the whole numbers there, because I know Mike's probably already thinking this is dumb that I went this far into this anyways.
No, I love this.
So that's just from our podcast. I didn't pull that from YouTube, but I got even more specific on the YouTube side, because it didn't give me where people are listening, but it gave me a little more statistics. So I found out from YouTube's analytics that our male percentage of listen rate is 94%, and then our female is 6%.
Classic.
So I think my mother-in-law is really, I know she watches on YouTube, so thank you, Laura, for bringing up our diversity there. And then our 3 main age groups, at the lowest, at 23.1% is ages 18 to 24. At 30% is 35 to 44. and our biggest age group is 25 to 34, and that's at 47%. So I did all this analytics and stuff to kind of figure out where people would like who are we speaking to, who are we talking to, and because the whole point of this.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, according to our YouTube analytics, apparently 112% of all viewers aren't subscribed. So if you want to do that right now, I'm giving you a look, but you can't see it. There was also a finger gun, but it wasn't threatening. It was like, hey, come on, subscribe.
So the whole reason I looked at that is because the whole point of someone sponsoring a show is they want to sell products. Like you're not going to get another sponsor if they don't get kickback or clicks from you. So I tried to look at the age range, the genders, and like whereabouts they are, and think, where can I go to kind of globally that fit these age ranges and genders. So that's how I based my whole top 5 list off of. And my number 5 is this little startup place called G3 Coffee Co. And let me tell you, it has some fantastic coffee. I don't remember exactly where the beans are grown. They go through there. It's made by someone who went to school to be a chemical engineer just to perfect coffee. Like that's his dedication to the craft. He's like, I'm going to go do an engineering just so I can make the best coffee out there. And it's a local for Tulsa, Oklahoma. And with that, I'm excited to announce that we're having our first giveaway where you can get a bag of medium roast coffee beans from G3 Coffee, and it will come with your very own The Top Podcast mug that you can also find in our Redbubble. Now, because we are all, early on in our careers, we are going to have to limit this to just the U.S. shipping because none of us have the dollar bills yet until we get these sponsorships to ship it internationally. But I'll have a post on Twitter. You guys can go. We're just going to have you like our Twitter page, retweet it, and on Christmas Day, we'll do a drawing for one person to win G3 coffee beans, medium roast coffee beans with the Top Podcast mug. You will love it. You will enjoy it. It doesn't have the acidic taste that most coffee has, and it is open to anyone in the United States except for us and our wives, because we have integrity here at the Top Podcast, but our wives are encouraged to participate to kind of spread the word. So all this to say, there's going to be maybe like 3 or 4 people retweeting it. That means you have like a 25 to 33% chance of winning. So go on our Twitter page, retweet it, and you will have a good chance to win at G3 Coffee. Thank you so much, Grant, for letting us spread your coffee and just helping out the Top Podcast and everything. So go check it out.
As official as a whistle, Robert. I'd love to hear it. Good job.
Thank you.
Good.
That's as much of the free sponsorships I'm gonna, free plugs I'm gonna give. They're gonna be more just kind of talking about stuff, but that one is an actual plug. So, and I believe in G3 Coffee. Are you guys?
I gotta say, man, I'm impressed that you pulled up all of those analytics, all of those numbers, and you still don't know where the coffee beans are grown.
Yeah, I tried to text him. I think it's somewhere. I think in
Caribbean,
somewhere down there.
Oh, okay.
He imports them in. He's like selected, the best of the best and things like that. I'm not going to pretend I know much about what goes into picking out coffee beans. I'm going to trust his expertise there. And like I said, for the sake of preserving and just how long it might take to get them to you, they're going to be the beans because they'll last longer and stay fresh longer. You'll have to grind them up yourself, but that should be easy. Worst comes to worst, you put them in a plastic bag and just start smashing.
I'm sure G3 is rolling over in, or whatever he's sitting or laying in right now, just at the thought of that.
He's not dead, Mike.
Yeah, I started to say it, I was like, wait a minute. He's rolling over in his chair.
He's younger than all of us, so.
Kind of hard to come back from that, huh?
All right. Well, if you're a big coffee guy, but, just plain coffee isn't enough for you, I can't recommend Nitro Cold Brew Guinness highly enough. I've been a Guinness guy for I don't know. Rob, how long have we been doing poker night? 5 years?
You started that up when I was in Tulsa, so that was before I even came back.
Oh, was it before that? Okay, so maybe 6 or 7 years. And I never liked it. And then somebody talked me into a drink, the less offensive name of which is just the car bomb. Do a very minor amount of Googling and you can figure out the rest. But it's an absolutely delicious beverage with the unfortunate side effect of getting you very, very drunk very, very fast. And so I was like, okay, well, I really like these, but I'd like to be able to not be trashed in 20 minutes. And so I just began to like Guinness, which is a very large component of the car bomb. So I became a Guinness fan. And some point along the way, I was at a Walmart in Canton. And I saw that they had Nitro Cold Brew Guinness. And I was like, hey, Guinness is good. Coffee's good. I think they'd probably taste good together. let me try this. And as not the world's biggest beer guy, I like 5 or 6 beers, and the rest of them are not really for me. Let me just say, Nitro Cold Brew Guinness is exactly what I always wanted dark beer to taste like. It's fantastic. It's smooth. It's got that rich creaminess from being a Guinness. It's got that mouthfeel from being nitrogenated, because instead of using carbon, they use nitrous. And then, of course, Nitro Cold Brew. It's just a perfect blend. Absolutely delicious, absolutely refreshing, but also great for the winter. It's very snuggly.
Yeah, I don't even like beer, and those car bombs are delicious.
They're so good. It doesn't make sense, and they curdle if you don't drink them fast enough. So they I don't in my head. I'm like, how can these taste good? But they do. And yeah.
Lou, I know you came to a few poker nights. Did we ever get you to have a car bomb?
I never got a car bomb before. No.
It's what, Guinness and then a shot of Bailey's, right? And you drop it in.
It's Guinness and then a half a shot of Bailey's and a half a shot of Jameson. And then you drop the whole shot glass into the half glass of Guinness, and you have to chug it because otherwise it starts to curdle. But as long as you can get it, over the lips and through the gums, I don't know, before it starts getting all chunky, ooh, it is one of the best things you're ever going to taste.
Yeah,
Wouldn't recommend 2 in an evening, but just 1 sometime when you're, at a place where you're going to be for a long time and have time to sober up. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think you told a story about someone you knew or something, and that just made me want to drink it so fast because I just sounded disgusting.
Man, so the problem with this story is that it requires my face to be involved. And, we all know what happens when I try telling stories that require facial expression to land the punchline.
But you're not the subject,
on the podcast.
So that's the plus.
That's true. Maybe I'll do a little video for Instagram and show you just how fabulous it was. Long story short, somebody took a good 25 seconds to drop down the drink and turned to me and my uncle and went, "How do you like this?" And we were just torn between the horror that they didn't stop when it started turning cream cheese, and just the hilarity of watching their face get worse and worse and worse as they just determinedly sucked down this ever gelatinizing. I don't even know if it's a liquid anymore, but just it was a beautiful thing.
Another thing
if you enjoy other people's discomfort.
Another thing that gives me the ick, curdled milk. I just remember
eating
eating cereal once. I've only bitten into it once though. When I was eating cereal, I'm just like, nope. I went and poured out the whole cereal, and no.
Ooh, yeah, it gets my stomach upset just thinking about it.
All right. So my number 4, to stick with the beverages, I picked Liquid Death.
Nice.
So Liquid Death so my favorites are the flavored sparkling waters. So I was a big LaCroix fan back in the day. And
you mean LaCroix, as Post Malone says?
So I will say the lemon.
I thought it was LaCroix.
LaCroix. You
guys
are
all saying LaCroix now.
So I've pretty much tried every single sparkling water on the market. I've tried AHA. I've tried LaCroix. I've tried store-bought stuff, and
Bublé.
Yeah,
Bublé with a B.
Bublé. Oh Bublé. Yes, I've had Bublé. I've had Pierre. Whatever that's called. And Liquid Death honestly just outshines all of them. Compared to Liquid Death, it just feels like somebody is just passing fruit over water, and that's the flavor. But Liquid Death actually has a flavor, and so I cannot promote it enough. If you've ever seen a Liquid Death, it's kind of off-putting. It kind of looks like a Monster can, and I try not to connect myself to anything that's connected to Monster. Not because of religious reasons or anything. I don't know if you guys ever seen those videos.
Yeah, we're going to have to probably find a new podcast, though, if you can't be connected with anything related to Monster.
I forgot, Robert. You're a Monster fan?
I am.
Oh, boy. Whatever floats your boat. I just think, when I think of Monster, I think of a 5'6" wife beater guy named Kyle who just punches walls. That I kind of get that vibe.
Probably also has a tap out shirt.
Has a tap out shirt with thought about joining the MMA for a little bit. Kind of just that vibe. And so
happy to say when you look at the
that's
not me.
That said, if Monster wants to sponsor this podcast, we will drink it and we will smile.
It had to be a pretty big sponsor.
Yes, I will take any sponsor. It doesn't have to be just any. We're not making any money. We'll take any money.
That's fair. I mean, Listen, we're a high quality podcast, okay? I've laughed. It's been some solid jokes. You know, I think we shouldn't undersell ourselves. We're not like the podcast whore.
For the right price, we could be.
The the silence. All right, so
You hear
the
that,
reason why
monster? We will lift our skirt and we will smile.
can I get back to my liquid death?
Not if you're gonna slander Monster.
Or-
I won't stand for that.
We are all Christians here. Okay, so if you wondered, the reason why I brought up Monster is because a Delaware native, Mike Carosi, I don't know, was a graphic designer that used to go to the Vans Warp Tour. I think that like the punk rock tours back in the day.
With the girl with the rock show.
Everything's better when she's around.
Can't wait till the parents go out of town.
I feel like you guys are cucking me right now a little bit. That's fair. He saw a bunch of just little white boys in Delaware drinking water out of Monster cans, surrounded by all these white people. I mean, they could have been black too. I'm not.
Lucian's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
leave.
Asians like punk rock. I apologize.
I'm having way too much fun. I also will mute my mic now.
Oh man. So yeah, a bunch of people were drinking water out of Monster cans, and he was like, "What can I do? How can I make some money off of that?" So I generally like all their flavors. Lime, mango, and watermelon's my favorite. Watermelon doesn't have like the sweet taste. It honestly tastes like a watermelon. No black jokes, please. That's my number 4.
Yeah,
I have never had it.
I've never had to. I'm just not a fan of hard seltzers in general.
Yeah, it's not like hard. It's like pop hard. You know, like is like as hard as a soda.
Mm-hmm.
There are some like waters out there that are super crisp, like a Sprite, McDonald's Sprite, but this one's actually, it's pretty soft. It's pretty good. They also have like non-seltzers, like sparkling waters. So they have an Arnold Palmer, which I've heard was pretty good, and then they have some other stuff too that's not seltzered. So you could try that stuff too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they had all these different flavors, honestly. Last I checked, they just had water and sparkling water.
Yeah, the lime generally tastes like Sprite to me. And I'm not even lying.
I might have to check that out then.
And it has like 3 grams of sugar versus a Sprite that has like
A
50
crap
grams.
ton of sugar.
30 or something.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
How's the calories?
So, like, I'm drinking one right now. The 20 calories.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not
20
bad.
calories and 3 grams of sugar.
Maybe I'll
And
put
it's a
some
pretty
up.
big can.
How pricey are they?
Like $3.
Ooh,
Something like that.
it's like a monster though.
16.9 ounces. 9 fluid ounces. Pretty good stuff.
All right, so my number 4 is definitely, I feel like something that's going to be more popular for our overseas people, where this habit is a lot more popular. It's kind of died out in the U.S. I don't know about Canada, but I just really love Julius Caesar cigars. I believe like smoking, I think is fine. Drinking is fine as long as it's in moderation. Like if you have a cigar every couple months, I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna destroy your lungs. Granted, I'm not a doctor, so don't take anything I say with any medical advice. But especially when I first got out of high school, every 1 or 2 months, probably close to 2 months, me and my high school buddies would go to this cigar lounge in this downtown area, and we would just sit, get a cigar, and talk for like 2 or 3 hours. And it was just such like a good guy bonding experience. And I really think that without that, my friendships may have did what a lot of high school friendship happens, like they go off to colleges and all that. But it was just nice where we got to sit together, just have something to kind of do. By ADHD, you just have a cigar to smoke and all that, and they have like sports on TVs, and you just sit on these leather couches and talk and have a good time, full of laughter, and we have serious conversations and things like that. But out of all that, I found that the Julius Caesar, especially the Toro cigar, are my favorite. They're made by Diamond Crown with tobacco from the Dominican Republic. And one thing I didn't know there's a couple things I didn't know until I was doing some research for this. The spelling of Caesar is Caeser. Now usually it's AR, but I found out when the guy was immigrating to the US, there was a clerical error, and so his name, they put an E there. I didn't actually even notice that it was an improper spelling of Caesar because my brain just moved past it. And then the other thing I didn't know is they're aged for 5 years, which I know some cigars do, but this one's a very nice, mild, easy draw and just smooth cigar. It doesn't kick you in the back of your throat. I think it smells nice, which cigars are very hit or miss on if it smells good or not. But very, very friendly, easy to, you don't inhale, but it's easy to let ruminate around you. And I would highly recommend it if you are a cigar smoker. If not, then this one's not going to be for you.
Drinking and smoking, guys. I see what's going on here.
Well, if you look,
What
if you
kind of-
listen to
what
my,
kind of podcast?
it looks like our main population, it ranges from the ages of 25 to 34 and are predominantly males. That's what type of podcast this is. Ran the numbers,
Drinking and smoking.
but at least I did
How
not.
far have we come?
At least I did not smoke in the boys' room.
There you go.
Is that a
Yeah,
song?
I've never been.
Motley Crue.
It's just like a.
Okay. So
I think it was like, I don't know if it was big in the back, because cigarettes used to be huge and still are huge elsewhere in the world, which is why I said it's probably more popular elsewhere. But yeah, there was like, I don't know if it was an actual thing or just something in movies, but Motley Crue wrote a song about smoking in the boys' room.
I'm hip.
Are
What were you saying, Mike?
Yeah, I've never been a huge cigar guy, but I do love a pipe every now and again. So I can definitely understand the allure of the pipe or the cigar, even though my preferred method of tobacco inhalation is slightly different.
I like them both. Pipes are like a little more smoother, but I like sometimes you want, that little, something with a little more heft to it. And then it lasts, an hour or so on a pipe, you get like 15 minutes out of it, if that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. So for me, the smoothness is kind of the preferred thing. I don't really like the bite of a cigar, and then also I don't want to be smoking for an hour. 15 minutes is kind of just the perfect amount of time. And if I really decide I want more, I can just repack the bowl and keep going. And I like smooth, and I like options. And so, plus the way my messed up brain works is keeping the pipe from getting too hot while also keeping it lit is just the right amount of concentration that I could just smoke a pipe and be gone to the world for the whole time. Like, it's just enough to get my brain focused on what I'm doing, but not so much that it's kind of something I have to really, really focus on. And I can just time travel, essentially. Just, need to skip 30 minutes. Boom. 2 pipes.
I apologize for laughing at something so childish.
Gotten other people into it since I started smoking pipes, and we look like the biggest pretentious bunch of douchebags you've ever seen in your life when we're sitting around smoking.
Oh, you should see my pipe. I have it's imported from Germany. It's
your
German
pipe is
pipe.
insane.
I love the design.
Okay. Pipe as in penis. Are we talking about? We're talking.
Lucia's just like
page, right?
phrasing.
I love
A tobacco pipe.
2 pipes. Okay, I was laughing at the
Hey,
fact
Goose
that
to
we were talking about.
Chicos.
Oh, I
talking
got
about
what you were
penis.
saying.
Okay, cool. And then Mike was just going at it, and I don't know if he was purposely doing it or if
No, I thought you were just laughing at the thought, because I laughed at the thought. I didn't realize you were. I should have. It's on brand.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy that you enjoy your pipes.
If you don't mind being pretentious, then yeah, get a pipe.
I don't smoke anymore, but back in my early 20s, I was so close to getting a pipe. If my wife didn't hate it so much, I think I would be a pipe guy for sure. Piping it all the time.
Yeah, definitely not all the time, but except moderation for me. I just pipe tobacco has the best smell. Like, you get some really nice aromas with pipe tobacco.
And that's the other thing, is you get it's pretty cost effective once you get over the initial hurdle of buying the pipe.
Lucian, if you ever want to come over and you can test out my pipe a little bit and see if you like it.
Can your wife be in the room when I test it?
Yeah, well, we'll be outside, so the whole world can
Oh
see.
yeah. We don't smoke in. Only
You'll be wearing socks. It'll be okay. My number 4 is the 8-bit Do SN30 Pro Bluetooth controller for Switch and PC.
What?
Exactly. So basically, this is a third-party controller that you can get for Switch or for your PC, and it is the shape and size of a Super Nintendo controller. But it has, on top of the the start and select button, it has both the home button and then the other button that a Switch controller has. I don't remember which.
It's the camera button.
Yeah, the camera button. It's got 2 joysticks placed kind of like you'd have on a PlayStation controller, and it has 2 back bumpers. So it holds and plays and feels just like a Super Nintendo controller, which is one of my all-time favorite controllers. But you can play modern Nintendo games on it. So I picked one up specifically when Metroid Dread was coming out. So I love Metroid. And I think the best way to play it is if you can get a Super Nintendo Classic and hack it and put the original, the Game Boy Advance Metroid games onto that and then play it with a Super Nintendo controller, just chef's kiss. Also, Super Metroid, all-time classic game. And so I just played through all these games using a Super Nintendo controller, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And so it's $42. It's kind of pricey, but it has all the features of a Pro controller, including gyro. So not a bad price compared to a Pro controller at all. And then I got to play the newest installment of Metroid on the controller I'd been playing it with, and it's an absolute blast. It can Smash. It's a little weird for Smash, but it can. I've played Mario Kart with it. I've played Breath of the Wild with it. Basically, if I'm playing Switch on the TV, this is the controller I'm using. Huge fan.
Did you say the SN30 Pro?
SN30 Pro. Yep.
Yeah,
You can, or,
very cool.
Yeah. And I got it. I think Nintendo might have got after them because it looks a little different now. I'm looking at it on Amazon. The one I have even has the purple buttons where it's, two are concave and the other two are rounded over the top. And so it really, really looks like a Super Nintendo controller, but that's just an aesthetic. The other one will work. The current model will work just fine. It also makes one with two little handles coming out the back, so it really, really looks like a PlayStation controller, which I also have, and I prefer the Super Nintendo one. But if you're going to be playing for a really long time, the hand grips are kind of nice.
Yeah, I've never had good luck with third-party controllers. I bought some for a Switch because Joy-Cons and Pro controllers just way too much money in my opinion for what they're worth. Maybe.
Oh my gosh, they're insane.
The Pro one's a little more because it's I think Xbox and PlayStation official controllers run it's maybe $10 or $20 more than that. But the Joy-Cons are just astronomically overpriced in my opinion, and I bought some I bought a third-party one on Amazon, and it did not work out well. I felt like I had I was at a friend's house and they handed me the Mad Catz controller.
Right. Yeah, I would say this: you can't get multiple 8-bit do controllers to sync up with your Switch, or maybe you can, but it's an absolute hassle. But as far as third-party controllers go, it is without a doubt the best one I've ever used. I've had no complaints.
I'm so picky with my controllers. I honestly have never used a controller that I absolutely love. I think once I bought my computer, I just keyboard and mouse, man. Keyboard
and mouse is hard to beat. Have you played around with a PS5 controller yet?
I touched yours for the first time.
Whoa. Talking about the pipe?
First time I went to
we were playing David Szymanski's masterpiece, Dusk.
So that's honestly the first time I've ever really got my hands on one.
Okay, and that was not the best game to play with that. It doesn't really show all the features.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think I'm just such a Sony boy that I'm gonna say that Sony controllers are better than anything else. But I wish I could love your number 4. I wish, but I just feel like it just wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, we can test it out, and if you fall in love, you're only out $42. Or maybe don't because it's for the Switch, and
you don't play Switch as we discussed recently.
Yeah,
I haven't touched it since Luigi Mansion 3, which was a decent game. Oh, it's back to me. All right, this is so I think this is just my fun one. I didn't struggle to get 5 of these because I think I can promote easily 10. But I was like, what's gonna be different? So this is my out-of-pocket one. So Dude Wipes is my number 3. If you never had Dude Wipes before, they're baby wipes, but they're massive size. If you ever met me, I'm a bigger guy, and I promote hygiene, right? I don't want swamp butt. I don't want stains in my underwear. I want to keep it clean. And Dude Wipes just does it for me. To be fair, my wife also used them, and she also appreciates them as well. So Dude Wipes was founded in 2011, but this is off their website. 3 college friends with mutual diets of burritos, booze, seek for a better due-sized bathroom alternative for baby wipes. I'm a big fan. They also have them scented. They have them shea butter, and I'm gonna let you guys know it's smooth down there, man. It feels real good. And before you guys reek, or anybody that's ill, why are you guys talking about baby wipes? I know dang well when you guys go to your jobs and you have to take a dump, and you pull out that stupid thin paper that you can literally see your fingers through them.
Yeah, single ply.
And you have to scrape. You have to scrape, and you feel it. And at the end, you feel empty and unclean. You know what I'm talking about.
See, I'm on Team Bidet. I'm working on getting my wife to let me buy a bidet. I was a skeptic in college, and my college had some, and it was like one with the nice heated seats.
This is a little sidetracked, but every job that I've ever had, I've found the most farthest bathroom to like the actual people. My job now, I have my own separate bathroom. It's not my bathroom per se, but I know I'm the only one that uses it.
Yeah, I have a specific bathroom in my office that there's two, and there's one that's a little closer, one that's further away, but the one that's a little closer is like right next to the boss's office. And I'm like, I don't want to, if he wants to fire someone, I don't want him, have to look for any reason to fire me. So I'll just take 3 more steps and go to the other one.
As a previous custodian, can I just say I hate you both?
Why? Both of them are
Dude.
lost.
Okay, then I'll let that slide. When I worked at Bleep, the banquet bathrooms. I bleep for myself. I ain't sponsoring that place. Yeah, every now and then it would be my job to clean somebody else's section, and he had the bathrooms in the way back, and you'd go in and it'd be like this place would have been untouched, but one person had to use the bathroom 400 feet away from everybody else, and now I have to clean this bathroom where I really wouldn't have previously. So annoying.
Oh, I found a bathroom that nobody cleans. The custodian does not go in there and clean the bathroom.
Well. As a previous custodian, may I say, I hate that guy as well.
I'm the only one that actually will switch out the paper towel and toilet paper. Like people will just unwrap it and put it on top of the little box they have, and I'm like only person that actually goes in and puts it in there and all that. Because I don't want to be grabbing other people's poopy hands toilet paper.
That's a good point.
So I feel you as a custodian. Yeah, screw those people.
Screw those people. I also am trying to get a bidet. I just feel like the dude wipes are a step up.
From paper towel or toilet paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paper towel. Whoa.
I said the wrong thing. I just also, bidets are a lot better for the environment. So.
Yep, that's my number 3.
All right, my number 3, going back, to our debauchery, since Lucian hates on our topics, is Glen. Oh gosh, I'm not going to say this right. Glenmorangie. It is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. It is delicious. My friend who went and did a tour of England, not of Europe, went and got me a bottle of Scotch from Scotland, and man, that is the smoothest stuff I've ever had for whiskey. Like most whiskey, it'll kick you in the chest or whatever, and you kind of expect that with it. But this stuff, it's smooth. It's dangerous because it just tastes so good. And the one I got is I think it's the Tarlogan. They'll probably say it's something different, but the Tarlogan. I like it. I mean, I also like Lagavulin, but that one has much more of an earthy tone, and sometimes I feel like I'm drinking leather, which sometimes I'm in the mood for. But if I want something nice and easy that'll go down the palate, the Glenmorangie is my go-to. Well, not my go-to because I only have one bottle, and so I've been rationing it out for 6 years, taking a little bit every now and again. But yeah, that stuff is delicious. You can get it if you're in Denmark. I'm sure it's very easy to get. You can just hop on a train and a boat, and then bam, you got your whiskey, or they might sell it in your stores. But yeah, go try it if you're over 21, and remember, drink responsibly and in moderation. We don't need any stories like Mike on the podcast. We don't want to be any of those people promoting that. We believe in responsible drinking here.
I've never been a big Scotch guy. I like bourbon a lot, but my grandparents had their 50th wedding anniversary, and it was at this place in Plymouth that was a converted railway station. And somebody mentioned, hey, there's going to be a cash bar. And I was like, oh, cool. This will make an otherwise horrendously boring evening not too bad. I'll have a drink or two. Jacob will be there. Andrew will be there. This will be fine. And we got there, and someone was like, hey, Grandma and Grandpa don't want anyone using the bar. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So the night goes on, and I'm super bored, and I stopped the waitress, and I was like, hey, question for you. She gave me the don't hit on me look so fast, which I'm clearly not over. But I was like, no. Can you get me a Scotch and soda? And she was like, yeah. But I was like, but can you bring it to me in an opaque vessel? And the waitress brought me a Scotch and soda in a coffee mug that I just sipped for the rest of the night. And it was one of the best cocktails I've ever had. So I don't like Scotch on its own, but a Scotch and soda.
When you say soda,
I don't know why.
Are you talking about the carbonated water or Coke? Pop.
Soda water.
Okay, that's what the carbonated, yeah.
Yeah.
Never actually tried that.
I wouldn't recommend it with the fancy stuff. No. But if you ever got a mid-level Scotch, it was very, very good. And I went up to thank the bartender, and he turned out to be the guy who was directing Hot Kyle's play. And So I just ended up hanging out with him for the rest of the night.
The tits play.
I don't know if it was the same guy or not. I'll have to ask him. It was the guy who directed Spelling Bee. Now it's on the record, and I can go back if I forget. Yeah, I was just like, do you know Kyle? And he was like, yeah, who are you? And I was like, oh, I saw your play. It was very good. And we hit it off. Who doesn't like somebody who shows up to compliment them?
Yeah, I like bourbon for mixing, for doing like mixed drinks with whiskey.
See, that's so funny. I'm the exact opposite. I love sipping on a bourbon. I don't even love it. If I'm going to drink whiskey, I'd prefer to sip on a bourbon.
Did you have Larceny? Were you there when we bought that? I think, yeah, it was you, me, and Steven. I don't remember if you liked it, though. That's my favorite bourbon.
Oh, Steven. I remember that we did that. I don't remember if I liked the whiskey or not, though.
Well, you're probably indifferent about it, so, don't remember if you liked it or you hated it, so I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's like a middle shelf one. Don't get Johnny Walker. Don't do it, guys.
No, not a fan.
That is disgusting. They're especially like their cheap stuff. Oh my gosh, that was awful.
Jacob went to a wedding like a year ago where I think both sides of the family were loaded, and so each table had its own bottle of Johnny Walker. I want to say blue, whichever it was like it's at least $100 bottle of Johnny Walker at the table. And some tables didn't even open them. And so Jacob just got sent back from this wedding with like $500 of scotch where they're like, yeah, just take some. But he shared some of it with me. And I said, this is the biggest waste of money I've ever experienced.
Well, if you ever come out here, I got some Lagavulin you can try and you can tell me which one's better.
I suspect it'll be the Lagavulin, but keep that in mind.
It's very much an acquired taste like the Lagavulin. Like I have to be in the right mood for it. Don't know how Ron drinks it all the time. Well, it's a TV show,
right?
But
it's the smokiness, the peat moss that Scotch uses that I'm not the biggest fan of.
Lou, do you drink any whiskey? Bourbon, whiskey, Scotch?
Yeah, I didn't know how to fit into this conversation. Robert, do you remember the whiskey that I bought you?
That was good. I think that was Irish whiskey, so it wasn't Scotch, but yeah.
I love Irish whiskey.
Gotcha. Yeah. I can't remember why I bought it for you, but I hope I did well. That's the only thing that came to my mind. Yeah, I think I did a lot of my drinking before I turned 21. But then after I turned 21, I kind of just stopped drinking.
Wasn't cool anymore.
Very much. And yeah, it just wasn't cool. I do nowadays when I do drink. Like the last time I had a drink, I was hanging out with Mike, and boy, do I get silly. I only had one small little drink, and I was feeling myself.
That's a great night.
I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm just I'm not much of a drinker anymore. I don't think it's I don't think it's not a sin to drink, right? I think it's a sin to get plastered. Some people think it's a sin to get plastered. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely a sin to get plastered.
Yeah.
So I watched this whole it was an hour-long video on what does the Bible actually say about drinking, getting drunk, and it has stuff for both sides. He's like, if you're very much against drinking, you're not gonna like what I have to say. If you're very much pro drunk and get party, you're not gonna like what I have to say. And it was just a very interesting case study on what the Bible actually says about it.
Yeah. I've always felt like when people are like, well, Jesus turned water into wine, and everyone just blows that off. I'm like, yeah, but he did. And that's not the worst argument. It's just that dumb people tend to use it. And then it gets overlooked because of the people using the argument. But I'm like, I think there might be something to that,
I'd be like, yeah, but, Jesus drank wine. And then the argument is oh, it didn't have as much alcohol content. But I'm like, it has alcohol content. You just admitted that it still did. And if Jesus didn't sin, which you believe, then it's not a sin just to have one drink. Now, if you don't want to have any alcohol, that's, it's your life. You can choose that. But I just don't think it's a good argument for or against drinking alcohol.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So, but me and my wife do old fashions, and I think it looks cool when we both order them at a bar or at a place. I don't know. It's a little fun thing that we like to do.
Speakeasy.
A good old fashioned is it's hard to beat.
I don't think I've had one.
Yeah, it's super solid.
I think you've had a good old fashioned, or you don't think you've ever had an old fashioned?
Yes.
Okay. Jacob actually makes a pretty solid old fashioned. I hung out with Kyle one time, Hot Kyle. Shout out Hot Kyle. And he tried to make an old fashioned, and I don't think he got there. But all of the attempts tasted good. That was something. And then there's a place right down the street in downtown Wayne that makes a smoked old fashioned, and I tell you what, that is one tasty beverage.
What is it? Is it vodka? I don't remember what's in an old fashioned. It's a martini.
It's
I believe it's also it's whiskey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's whiskey. It's orange bitters or some type of bitter, and some people do
Isn't it soda?
like a Demerara. No soda.
Oh, okay. I guess I really don't know what it
there's
is.
soda in it. Yeah, it's usually just on the rocks, and then it's a lemon peel, and then some type of sugar. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a very simple thing.
I've always had it with regular bitters, but then an orange peel.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, so
people make it different ways. So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think it's just like a really easy, good way to like enjoy middle shelf whiskey.
But comment below or on our socials, where do you fall on the whiskey spectrum? Do you like Irish whiskey, bourbon, Scotch? Let us know. One of
or
us
just
will
let
tell
us
you
know
why
if you
you're
think
wrong.
all drinking is a sin.
That's true.
Number 3.
Yep.
My number 3. My number 3 is also a promotion. It is a podcast that I one day would love to be sponsored by because it means it would be making enough money to sponsor somebody. And I'm on the podcast. It is Hot Kyle and myself's new venture, Long Distance Situationship, subtitle, heterosexual, bi-coastal. We're going to be dropping our first episode next Friday. And when you hear this, it'll be next Friday. And it's going to just be me and Hot Kyle. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about turning 30 on our first week, as that is something I will have just done, and that is looming for him. And we're gonna play some games. We're gonna have some rants, and it's just going to be an overall good time. And we're also going to chart his adventure as he goes off to LA. And if I can promise you one thing, it's that he will get himself into some stupid situations, and they will be incredibly amusing to listen to and not have to deal with yourself.
What a plug. You love to hear
Yeah,
it.
man.
So my number 2, I had to do some type of food because I just, I enjoy food and I want to recommend like good tasty things that people don't know about. And so the first thing that came to my mind was sriracha. But back in like 2010, everything was sriracha flavored. So that will be in my honorable mentions. And nobody can argue with me with sriracha being the best hot sauce ever. For price to taste ratio, it is just king.
Depends what you're going for. Depends what you're going for. I mean, if I have like a Mexican dish, I'm going to put Cholula. But if I have like an Asian dish, I'll put sriracha.
I'd throw some sriracha on tacos, man.
I would throw sriracha on tacos. Yeah. But I wouldn't throw Cholula on like orange chicken. But it all your flavor, your taste, totally go for it. But so I picked forgive me because this is Chinese, Lao Ga Ma chili oil. It is just one of the best delicious things I've ever tried in my entire life. So there are different tastes in cooking. There's like different tastes. So the sweet, the sour. There's this thing called umami, and this chili oil is just a freaking just umami bomb in your mouth, and it is just so good. And it goes. I put it on everything. I put it in chili. I've put it on my mac and cheese. I've put it on. I put it on mashed potatoes. I've tried damn near everything on it, and everything is so good. One of my favorite things to do is make a sauce out of it and put it in ketchup, and so good. So La Gaman is based off a Chinese woman who made it when she owned a noodle shop, but she found out that people would go into her noodle shop and not order noodles but just order the chili oil, and so then she just started selling chili oil back in 1989. So really good.
Is it in like a little jar? Like it's a red sauce. And
yeah, it's a little jar. The little grandma that's in front of it is the woman that made it. There's a bunch of different kinds.
I think I have one of them in. I don't know if it's that one, but I think I have one in our cupboard.
It's so good. I cannot, and it's not people. If you're not a huge fan of like spicy, it's not too spicy.
No,
I think it's just the flavor of it. So I mean, even if you're not into spice, I still recommend trying this.
I also think there are some there's spice levels too. I think you can get a more spicy one, but they still have just like a mild or whatever.
Yeah. I recommend it. It's delicious. Put it on everything. Are you guys into spicy food?
I am.
Dude.
I'm a baby about it, but I love it. We went to a Filipino place this past weekend, and I got their spicy, and I think next time I'm gonna go with extra spicy. It was it was good. It was so it was actually a Korean fried chicken, but they say it's very big in the Philippines. And as we talked about before, I've always wanted to try like a Korean fried chicken thing. So I felt like if it's big there, I'll be okay getting it. If you're Filipino and I was wrong, let me know and I'll go and try something else. Well, we're gonna go back there anyways because all the food was delicious. But yeah, it was really good. It had at first it was very sweet, and then it kind of hit you on the back end with the spice, and I enjoyed it. But like I said, I was kind of hoping I'd be crying my eyes out and everything. But it was a very tolerable heat, so I'm going to go with the extra spicy next time.
So we refer to my paternal grandfather as Senior Sissy Mouth because like a jalapeno is too much for this guy. And I fully embrace the title of Senior Sissy Mouth Jr. because I can handle a jalapeno, but much more than that. And I'm like, dude, this is not worth the pain. Get this away from my face. So yeah. Spicy food is not for me.
We won't cook your orange chicken then if you come to visit. It's got a little kick to it.
Now, I will say this: if the flavor is good enough, I will fight through. But it's when people are like when you were like, I want to be crying. I'm like, what is wrong with you, you masochist? I want my food to be pleasant.
Yeah, I was about to say pretty much the same thing. I don't understand people who want their mouth completely blown out. Doesn't make any sense to me. It gets to the point of spicy where it literally feels like your mouth is on fire, like licking a hot spoon. Mm-hmm. It gets that spicy, and that doesn't make any sense to me. You're just really in for it for the pain. But a beautifully balanced meal with a little bit of kick to it, I think, is where your mouth feels a little numb and your lips feel it a little bit. I'm all for it. I can't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm. Granted, there is a big difference between like chemically spicy, which I don't like. And like the B-Dubs' Blazing, that's just all chemical spice. But like their mango habanero, oh my god. I can only eat like 2 or 3 of them, but they're so good. The first one I ate, it was like, no, it's not bad. Went for a second one, and my mouth was just like burning on fire. But the flavor profile was so good. And I still don't consider myself like a wuss. Like I had the hot ones. They made those hot pockets. I found some and got them. And this was like their lowest level. I'm like, yeah, that's got a good kick to it. So I definitely would not do well in that show.
When I go to B-Dubs, I do too. That's like the bar for making it. I feel like now, like I know I made it if I can get on hot ones.
Hey, if you guys,
all 3 of us on hot ones,
yeah, it's like how Jack Black, had Kyle Glass or Gas. But yeah, get all 3 of us on there. You'll get some amazing content.
Yeah. I would do my best.
I'd wear a diaper.
Oh man, that's the one time where I'd be like, I guarantee I can do this. Like it will suck. I will hate myself for a week, but I'm not stopping for anything. Mm-hmm. Like you get there, you gotta endure. I don't know how good my interview will be by the end, but I'm pushing through. Yeah. I'm not doing those little baby bites where people will be like, I'll just like barely take a tiny bit of skin off. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's why I respected Jack Black. Like he went the whole thing, just ate it all. That was a funny interview if you guys haven't seen it. But if anyone knows how we can get in connection with the hot ones, they'll be like, who are these 3 nobodies? But we'll get you some good content.
We would. Yeah.
Be like me crying, Lucian dancing in the background. Mike just be like, all right, let's get over it.
A good time. That's my number 2.
So my number 2 is something I use nearly every work day. It's fantastic, and that would be Audible.
Oh, dude, I almost did that.
Okay, I was waiting to see.
I was wondering if Audible was a service or was it a product.
So I was going to get it. I was just kind of giving Mike, because I figured he also listens to Audible, that I thought it might be on his list. I was giving a pause for the fight sound.
It came close. But
Audible it's a kind of like Steam for audiobooks, where you can go in and you can buy just a straight up audiobook, which is honestly the best for the author.
So
they're expensive, but they're good for the author. And there's this kind of like, as someone who's trying to be like an amateur writer, part of me hates that I like, because I also use their service, which is you pay $15 a month, you get 1 credit. And then you can spend that credit on any book in there. So if there's like a $30 book, you just spent $15 for it, and you can redeem that credit. And that is definitely not the best for authors. I know like Brandon Sanderson's kind of beefing with Amazon right now. But for the consumer, it's such a great thing. I didn't consider myself a big book reader before because I just had a hard time with my ADHD sitting down and, actually physically reading a book. But now that I have a job where I'm driving all the time, I think the year-long came out. Like the year-long review came out, and right now I'm sitting about 22 days worth of books, and it's just I cranked out the whole Wheel of Time, and I couldn't recommend the service more for if you're wanting to get into books. So you can get self-help books, you can get fantasy, sci-fi, biographies, all different types of books.
Horror, a lot of good horror in there.
A lot of good horror. Or if you don't want to spend any money, you can listen to the top podcast on the Audible app. There's that as well. Or
You
if you
can't
want,
tell, but I'm giving you a look and a finger again, and it's not threatening.
Not threatening. I love this. I love this new thing that you're doing. It's a
I'm
great,
I'm just gonna always describe what face I'm making.
so good. It is so good. It gives me joy if it doesn't give anybody else joy.
And
I only do this podcast to try to make Lucian laugh. So
And I think for like $25 a month, you can get 2 credits, which is what me and my wife do because I definitely listen to a lot more audiobooks than she does, but we both use it. And I think we have like almost a 90 book library by now, so would highly recommend it.
Wow.
nice. I do the annual, and I expected it to just get my 1 credit a year and then just have, because it's a discount if you pay for the year up front, but they just give you all 12 credits just in your bank all at one go. And ever since I got my new job and I can't just listen all day at work, it's kind of slowed down. But this is the first year in like 4 or 5 years I haven't just blown through all 12 of my credits by like September.
And like if you do have the subscription and you want to buy more credits, they usually have like 3 for $35, which is already cheaper than what you'd be paying for other audiobooks. So like Wheel of Time would cost a couple hundred. Well, would cost probably $400 or $500 if you bought all the audiobooks separately.
Easy.
But with that, so $15 a month for 12, you're gonna be running like paying basically like half the price. So would recommend. And realistically, as far as sponsorships go, we could easily get, not easily, but like Audible is pretty big in sponsoring content creators, so I think it is a very realistic one as well if we ever got to a big enough audience.
They also have a lot of collections. Like I got my Chronicles of Narnia, the whole thing, for a single credit, and also the C.S. Lewis collected works, like his nonfiction, for a credit.
And the Green Gables, my wife got that one for 1 credit. Though I think it had all but 1 book.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, all but
Nice.
1 book. Poppy
Cool.
War, I know.
I was going to recommend a different one if Audible, but can I recommend a different one?
Sure.
I doubt Audible is going to listen to this podcast, right? It's one called Chirp. It's called Chirp, and there's no subscription fees, but they have a lot of good deals. I also think it's closer to Steam as well. So me and my wife are actually using Chirp.
I
guess started getting into audiobooks.
That makes sense. You had a Zune growing up, so.
Said too much. I've said too much. Like for me, I used to read so much back in the day, and then I became an adult, and then I never picked up a book for a super long time. So if you're like me, I think an audiobook is a really good gateway to get back into books, because I'm just upset that I've spent so long not actually reading, because there's so many good stories out there.
Yeah. I think everyone, like people are like, oh, I'm not a reader. I think everyone is a reader. They just haven't found a genre they like yet. Like there's so much for anything. You can find information about like anything. If you like sports, so many sports books and everything. Like there's something out there for you. I encourage everyone to go and just read. Like I was with Lucian. Well, I was like Lucian, where I read like elementary school, and then maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I just didn't really read anything, or it was like 5 books, and man, it's great. Like. Go read. It's one of my favorite hobbies.
All right. My number 2 is a software that I just recently discovered. It is primarily a animation software, but it is called Asprite, Aseprite, which I only spell out because I would have got it wrong had I not seen it spelled out. But I got it just because I was fiddling around with pixel art on Microsoft Paint, and the zoom feature leaves something to be desired on Paint. And I was like, all right, you know what? It's $20 for the software. I'm having so much fun just fiddling around and drawing pictures of my friends like they're in video games. Why not? And it is just a really intuitive software. It's got all sorts of cool tools, and you can create all sorts of weird and wacky things. And I have just found it so unbelievably relaxing. It's been kind of a crazy last couple months for me. And this has just been such a nice therapeutic way to just take a deep breath and kind of get away from it all for a little while. And yeah, so if you have any interest in pixel art or animation, worth checking out. And there's just a host of tutorials on YouTube. So there's plenty to learn and lots of resources for doing it. You know, like I said, I've only been doing it for a couple weeks, and Lou's over here sucking my pipe about how good I am already. So you could be sitting.
Last compliment I ever give you. Good Lord.
Sorry, you said the term. I could not go back to it.
Yes.
Or maybe Rob said the term. I don't know.
No, Lou did.
But
It was Rob.
I made the connection that Lou made the joke, but
I'm happy that you're having fun.
thank you.
You're an artist, and you need to be an artist. All right, my number one, I always forget, is from Detroit. Was not born in Detroit. It's from
Carhartt?
Detroit. Yeah. Yep. Carhartt.
No.
Yeah, man.
No cap?
No cap. Number one's Carhartt.
Dude.
What's your number one?
Dude, not Carhartt, but I effing love Carhartt.
I also own 2 Carhartt jackets. Big fan.
Yeah. So from Detroit, started in 1889.
Whoa.
Didn't know that one.
Yeah, a long time. I love Carhartt. So my grandpa had this really faded out green Carhartt, and that was just like Papa's coat, and he had it the whole time that he was alive, and that I remember it easily could have been 30 years old. I never knew how old the coat was, but I always wondered, like, for me as a child, I always go through a coat a year, right? And that's kind of like how it was as a kid. You know, you grow up and get old, and you just like switching out your coats and your jackets and your shoes. But for him, Papa's jacket was Papa's jacket, and it smelled like Papa, and I never really understood it until I got older, and I was like, oh, there's Carhartt. So yeah. I cannot recommend any other thing, any other clothing other than Carhartt. During COVID, I got thick. During COVID, I tried to figure out what was the best tasting frozen pizza, and I went through all of them, and I gained.
What was the answer?
Yeah. Okay.
Newman's cheese pizza was for me the one is the best.
I mean, you went through every different topping option as well?
No, just the brand.
Oh, okay.
I
was going to say that would be dedication.
Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast. I'd probably be 6 feet under. Repeated. Yeah, Newman's also honorable mention. Super good. Trick to cooking frozen pizza is not doing it under anything, putting it right on the rack, and that's how you get crispy crust. Fun fact for you.
I think probably second best. I also really like pizza stones. Those do a good job. You put them in first, like let them preheat with the oven.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta rip those super hot though. But yeah, that's also second best. I
like to put my frozen pizza in a wood fire oven and cook them that way.
Serious?
No.
You can't be serious.
He just wanted to seem cool.
Just seem cool. That's what's up. I was on a health kick for a little bit, and I put a bunch of vegetables on a frozen pizza without putting anything on it, just straight on the rack. And the pizza was so heavy that the pizza fell through the rack and exploded everywhere in the oven. And I was not a happy camper. I lost the pizza, and I spent an hour cleaning my oven. Yeah, I don't know how I got pizza to Carhartt.
COVID.
So,
thanks, COVID.
COVID, you got thick during COVID.
I got thick during COVID. And I needed to find shirts. And if you're a big guy, and if you're a bigger than big guy, someplace the only time you can find a place that you can find decent clothes is DXL. And if you've ever been in a DXL before, everything is $50 or more. They know that this is your last stop before you start wearing bed sheets, and they're gonna upcharge the mess out of you. But I found Carhartt shirts that fit me, and that I could raise my hands above my head, and I didn't have to show the 10-pack. So the keg, some would say. So I'm dedicated to Carhartt. I love Carhartt. One of the Hamilton Carhartt said, "A merchandise that is honestly made to give service will create a lasting friendship." And I just think nowadays with fashion, things are just not made the way they used to be. And I don't want to be an old head about it, but you're spending your hard-earned money on clothes, and some of them fade out, and they get holes, and they rip. But Carhartt's not going to do that for you. So I would love to sponsor Carhartt. Big fan.
Yeah, my all my work clothes are Carhartt. I got Carhartt FR pants, FR shirt. I have, like there. When it comes to flame resistant things, it's like Carhartt and then one other brand. And I'm like, I gotta go Carhartt because they're my home company, and I love them so much. Especially the big and talls, like you were saying. Same thing. You can lift your hands up. You can work and everything. If you get their coats, the coats are super warm. Like they'll keep you warm in the negative 57 degree North Dakota winter. But
Right. I rock the Carhartt on the moped when I'm driving year round, so it'll be middle of February, middle of January, and I'm rocking a hoodie and a Carhartt.
Yeah, and like it'll get so warm that you'll have to take your Carhartt off, unless unless
on a moped it won't.
Yeah,
on a moped, yeah. As soon as I said, I was like, Probably not a moped, but just generally, your car will keep you warm.
Also,
I saved up and bought a Carhartt, and then I got a job at that place that I won't mention, and they provided us with Carhartts, and I was like, dang it, I bought a coat that's going to last me a lifetime 3 months before somebody gave me a coat that would last a lifetime.
Yeah.
Now I have 2 coats that'll last my lifetime.
yeah, I think I have 2 Carhartt. I have 2 Carhartt like big coats and then like 1 Carhartt vest.
But it's nice because I have options now, because the one I bought it's not quite as warm, but it's got like the better mobility, so you can move your arms around better. And then the other one is like a traditional Carhartt cut with the hood. So like you can really bundle if you need to.
Well, and it's nice because like Carhartt's coming kind of into fashion. Like it's a which I guess probably drove up the price a little bit, but like it's a brand now for fashion. The Carhartt logo.
Which I mean, like, it's kind of cool that they represent it. Their hats also. I love their hats. I'm actually wearing their hat right now.
I was
got
gonna
a
say,
big
when
fat
beanie,
hat.
like the beanie or the hat, like a ball cap.
The beanie.
Yeah, those beanies are nice.
I've seen you wearing that one.
Big fan.
I also recommend the snow overalls that are insulated. My mom had a pair, and back when I was, a little shorter, I'd go out, just put on that and a hoodie, and then go out and shovel snow, and I was perfectly warm.
And was it pink Carhartt?
No, there's black.
Camo.
It's the black Carhartt, but now I'm all about the Carhartt brown. That's my look for the most part.
Carhartt brown's a classic. That's the color I got for my first one. My grandpa also rocks Senor Cabiza Grande rocks a Carhartt in the winter. I think he's got a blue one that he's had for, I don't know, it's so faded, but it's still intact. Like it looks like he's worn it for the last 30 winters.
Probably has. All right, so my number 1 is something you can get anywhere that you have an internet connection, and it's definitely my favorite game of at least the past 5 years, and that is Baldur's Gate 3. I know Lucian said it was making him a little sad, which I'm questioning the choices he's made, because there are definitely some sad choices. Did you let Shadowheart go be a full Shar person? Is that what made you sad?
No, like, I mean, I don't want to like make it all about me, but
It's
I cannot get the mods right. The mods keep crashing my game, and I keep losing save times or saves.
You just gotta play without the mods.
I can't talk. I just like I've really enjoyed having an extra character, and I know it makes the game easier. But I don't really care. I'm not. I've beaten every single Dark Souls except for Demon Souls. So like I've beaten hard games before. I've finished Hollow Knight, not completely finished it. Apparently, I found that out recently. But I just want to play just for the storyline, and it keeps crashing my game, and it's just taking me off. But continue, Robert. This is not about me.
Yeah, just the writing's fantastic. It's the closest thing I've experienced to playing D&D in person in a video game. There are so many options. There's been one thing I've thought of that hasn't worked in the game, but so many people have thought of like out of the box like concepts, and like it's actually worked in games, and like some people will react to it and all that. And it's just crazy how much thought they put into it, and you can tell that the company really loved like D&D and the other Baldur's Gates. It is a work of love and art, and it has some of the best NPCs. They're not just like flat characters. They have full personalities, and they're fully fleshed out. And it's so much fun. It's an isometric RPG, which is basically like a top-down RPG, and it's turn-based, so it's just like D&D. It has dice rolls. You can nat 1, you can nat 20, and it's a chaotic mess. And you'll laugh, you'll be sad, it'll rip out your heart, and it's just a fun game all around. And I can't speak highly enough about it because, like I said, it's like the best game I've played in at least 5 years. I don't know one that's come close to it, and I'd highly recommend it. I will say it is a time sink. I think my first playthrough was like 130 hours, but I just loved every second of it, and it's just, man, it's fantastic. If you want to get lost in a world, then that's the game for you. Even if you don't like RPGs or Baldur's Gate, or D&D, go try it out and see if you like it. I think you won't be disappointed.
Has Becca played it?
No, Becca, I think, is going to wait, because it's coming out on Xbox, and I don't think she wants to deal with all the PCs, so I was kind of hesitant when, Lucian, you said the Divinity was weird. But I haven't read anything bad on like the subreddit for the PlayStation 5 port, so we'll see. We'll get around it. But yeah, we can, because with PS5 and Xbox, you can do couch co-op, so we're just going to play together. And I said, I'll play with you, we'll have fun, but you have to make all the decisions.
That's smart. I'll just be curious to see what Becca thinks of it.
I
We
think
got to appeal to that 4% female demographic.
Yeah. I think she'll like it. She likes D&D, and like I said, to me, it's the closest thing you can get to D&D with a video game. And I would love, I don't know if Wizards of the Coast would let this, but if they could make like a DM like thing for computer where you can like make your own like scripts and everything, and then like people could like program their own campaigns. I think if they could do that and like make a huge just open workshop that people can build stuff, like this game is going to be worth every dollar if you can like download a campaign, and then you don't even need a DM. Like you and 8 buddies could go play a pre-made campaign and it's already there. I just think the potential for this game is crazy, and it can rival like games like Skyrim for mods.
Easily. I didn't even think about that. That'd be crazy.
Little
That'd be absolutely
Super
crazy.
Mario Maker Baldur's Gate.
Yep, basically like that.
Pretty much. Yeah. Even like people even could do like voice acting and stuff. That'd be crazy.
I feel like at that point you'd essentially just have to make your game open source.
Yeah, so it'd be like Bethesda games. They have the creation kit, or some whatever their engine is kit, so people can make. It is basically open source, and you can script it and do everything like that. And that's one reason why Bethesda games are so heavily modded, is because they make it accessible to everyone. So if Larian does that, which they're one of the few gaming companies that seems to respect the fans nowadays and isn't just trying to turn a profit, which I have like mad respect for, because you don't see that a lot nowadays, and they care about their fans and everything. I could see them doing that easily, and it'd be free and everything, while most studios would charge for it. I feel like a lot of big name studios you'd have to pay for that and all that.
To be fair though, I would pay $20 to get that. So
yeah, if it was like you can make your own campaigns, yeah, I'd drop a full another 60 for it probably.
Yeah, for sure. I'd
be really interested to see what the quality is like if that happened.
Mm-hmm. It'd be up to like the writer for the most part, and and maybe you could like get a team almost like you, Jacob, and Tim, or you could throw or Nate in there, and like you have one person do animations, one person write, and one person code. Like I could see like little teams like that being really well.
Yeah, no, it could be pretty cool, honestly. What were you saying, Lou?
I was gonna say that another game was a little bit better, but I was looking through my Steam, and I played 125 hours of Baldur's Gate, and I've only played 53 hours of the other game. So clearly, I like Baldur's Gate a lot more, and at some point, I hopefully will finish it.
It's made me fall in love with gaming again. Like I went through a pretty good chunk there. I'm just like, I like the gaming's past better, but this is kind of reinvigorated it. I heard interesting things like, a game is good when it's 2 a.m. and you're in the Taco Bell drive-thru and you can't stop thinking about that game. Like that. Like I feel like I haven't experienced something like that in a while. Right. That's number one.
I have that whenever I play Hollow Knight or Dishonored, where I'll just be at work just thinking about, what am I going to go collect next, or what route am I going to do with my next Dishonored level? Like those two games just consume me. My number one is it's the one thing that's not necessarily a product, but I cannot recommend it highly enough. It is technically, but does not have to be, a drinking game. It is just as much fun, I can say this with absolute confidence, as I played it with both beer and Minute Maid lemonade. It is just as much fun whether you're drinking or stone cold sober. And it was brought to me by Hot Kyle's younger sister Zoe. Even though I scared her half to death, it is Beer Ball. Let me explain. So Beer Ball is a team-based competitive consumption game. It does not have to be booze. Again, I have played this with my in-laws. I have watched 15-year-olds drink so much lemonade so fast that they vomit. It's just a crazy time. Many kerfuffles ensue from this game. But essentially, you get 3 or 4 people on a team, and they stand on one side of a table, and the equal amount of people stand on the other side of the table, and everybody has an aluminum can containing a beverage that they put in front of them. And going from left to right and zigzagging back and forth, so each side of the table gets a turn. One person at a time will throw a ping pong ball and attempt to hit one of the other team's beverages. If they do so, they get to crack their own can. And when the ball comes back around to them, once your can is cracked, anytime you hit one of the opposing team's beverages, you get to start drinking your drink. The goal is for your team to drink all of your drinks before the other team drinks all of their drinks. Now, once you've hit a can and you're drinking your beverage, The other team's goal is to pick up the ping pong ball and touch it to the table and say stop, at which point you have to stop drinking. First team to finish wins. And then the other catch is if you hit somebody else's can so hard that you knock it over and spill it, they have to restart with an unopened can. And it is absolute chaos. I've played with 3 other grown men where we literally have discussed and executed a zone defense where we were all covering different parts of the porch. And I've seen people chuck ping pong balls across backyards that were then caught and tapped down. It gets crazy. It is so much fun. And the quality of this game is so high that you don't even need to be drunk to enjoy it. Beer ball, give it a shot.
You explained it very well. Good job.
Thank you. I really, really practiced on this one because I was like, okay, I have to explain a game that is usually shown live in person with just my words. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Maybe we'll come up with a video sometime. Put it on the podcast.
That could be fun.
Put it on the YouTube.
Right?
You should make it like a sports video, like a promoting.
I was
sports
just
video.
right. That'd be really fun. We could we could team up with the 4 Horsemen. Yeah, make a little spoof video.
MLBB.
Yeah.
Major League Beer Ball. I like it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I haven't played it quite as much as Mike has, but it's a fun time. I can only play like 1 game though, and then I'm like, all right, that's enough for me. But I know, Mike, you can go all night.
It's one of my favorite things to do, and so I'll honestly, I'd consider playing it with some Liquid Death. It'd be a kind of pricey version of Beer Ball, but if you get the uncarbonated version, it wouldn't mess with your stomach anywhere near as bad.
Yeah, for sure. I've only played it once, and I think my only issue was that I would say stop before the ball, before I touched the table.
Depending on who you're playing with, people get heated over that.
Yeah. I could tell that people were starting to get heated off of it.
That was at my bachelor party, right?
Yeah. And I don't like, my mouth was just faster than my hand. Like, I wasn't trying to cheat. I just couldn't. I don't know. My brain couldn't handle it.
Yeah, there are some competitive dudes there. Yeah, if whenever, maybe October when we come back, I don't know if I'll have time in April, but maybe we can do like a top podcast versus another group of 3 people. We
could be fun.
Get someone to film it.
For sure, that'd be fun. A good time.
Top podcast versus the wives. I think
that's exactly what I was thinking.
I think I know how that would end.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go well.
No, I usually use Mike's Hard or like Angry Orchard, which it's nice for like the glass bottle because it's a little slimmer, but you cannot drink them as fast, so that makes it a little harder for that.
They're also safe. They're almost impossible to knock over with a ping pong ball too, so you don't have to worry about getting reset. So pros and cons though. It's like playing the heavy car in Mario Kart.
Heck yeah. Robert, what's for next week? What's the plan?
It's funny. It's kind of funny that we talked about a little bit before the pod and then during the pod this kind of topic, and it's been kind of in my head for the past week. But I want to know top 5 previous jobs, I should say. That could be worst jobs, that can be best jobs, or you could be like me. I'm probably gonna go best, worst, best, worst, best. Just kind of stagger it out. So that's what I want to know.
I think I've only worked 5 jobs. So.
Well, there you go. You can rank them.
There you go. Yeah.
And you can have like internships or stuff like that if you have any of those. Throw those in there.
Okay. All right, now that goes past 5.
Got 6 there.
I've done. Yeah. Nope. I did 3 internships.
Dang, dog.
So Yep. My college was good. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment and subscribe. If you're listening to Spotify and Apple Podcast, please comment and leave a review for us. Hope you have a great week. Peace. And wash your face, then wash your butt. Don't wash your butt and wash your face.